Hello friends, welcome to my channel and explore the world of Microsoft Azure. My name is Rajneesh Kaushik and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, consultant and an enterprise architect. For more latest videos and blogs, you can always log into my website rajneeshkaushik.com and subscribe to my blog. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss the latest videos. Do like, share and comment. Today, we will learn how to use search, glossary, and classification in Microsoft Purview. This is the agenda. We will understand searching and browsing capabilities in Purview. We will learn glossary capabilities in Purview, and then we will learn the classification options provided by Purview. And finally, we will jump to the demo. So this is the environment we have already set up. We have created a Purview account. And then we have also created a Azure Data Lake and Azure SQL database. And we will use glossary and search capabilities and the classification capabilities to showcase this demo. So let's get started. First, let's start with the Purview search demo. We will understand how do we search the catalog, how to update an existing asset in the Purview, how to browse these assets, and then how to make the bulk edits. So we'll start with this demo. First, we will search the catalog. So let's search everything by putting star. And the moment it gives you this result, we will try to see the search result based on the country and region. And then it shows the two assets. We will understand queries by state. What is queries by state? And it clearly shows this overview about the query by states. And we will edit this. So in edit it off, it gives you the asset description blank. We will paste the asset description, some text, and then we will put the glossary term. So there is no glossary term here. In the select classification, there is nothing. So in the classification, we can put the values word cities to classify this particular asset as a word cities. And then it also shows you the schema. In the schema, it provides you all these details. So what we can do in this detail is we can add multiple values here. Like in this example, we can say that this is a date field and we can put the description like this, the date on which the query was issued, the query specific thing, like what is the query, the description is the actual search query used by the user, the is implicit intent. So means this is a description that if true if query did not mention COVID or coronavirus and false otherwise. State, we can put the state value and then we can put the country value. So this way you can put all these values in the description and then save it. Then you can again see the other values like contacts. So in the contacts, you can search the contact. Like in this case, I will search my own name and I will put this user as an expert user. You can add any other user or the owner of the asset and then I will save it. So this is the way you can edit and then you can search the assets. Now how do we browse these assets? So for browsing the assets, we will again go back to the data catalog and then we will put browse assets, and in the browse assets we will see what is there in this assets. So we can say that this asset is by source type and we can click that particular source and it shows you this source like the ADLS, and then click this source and the moment you click it, it will show you all these details. Like in this example, inside this ADLS, this is a container. So I'm clicking the container and then when I go inside, it shows me queries by country and queries by state. So this way you can go further down one by one and then go into the inside this. So this is the option to do this. Now let's learn how do we do the bulk edit. So again, for bulk edit, we will go again and then we will search the particular all the assets, and in the all the assets we will find out these are the assets, so we can select all of them. Sorry. So we will select one by one all of them, whatever assets you want to. Like in this example, I want to use query by country, address, customer, and I can do as many as possible, like customer address, that is another asset. And then I can say that, view this selected assets. And then here I can see there is an option for bulk edit, so that I can bulk edit all these selected assets, and I can put all these attributes. So in this example, I can put attribute of owner, and then who's that owner? I can specify the operation of addition and then put the owner name. So I can add that these assets are owned by me and then apply it. So this way it automatically applies these assets as an owner for my name. So this is one example of bulk edit. Okay, so now we saw how do we search the catalog, update an asset, browse the assets, and then bulk edit all the assets. So now let's move to the next demo. In this demo, first we will understand what is glossary. So glossary is nothing but a business glossary, right? In business glossary, when I say business glossary, it means that in every business there are some specific set of terms which is being used, and in any enterprise those terms are communicated in exactly same way. So one example could be sales order. So in an organization, sales order may be having multiple attributes, and whenever these attributes are combined together, that is called sales order. So this term, whenever it is spoken in the organization, it is understood the same way across the organization. So that is why it is very important to create a common glossary and maintain it and use it across. So in this demo, we will create a term with the system default term template. We will create a term with the custom term template. We will bulk import these terms and bulk export these terms. Then we will assign a term to an existing asset and then update an existing asset. So let's get started. So let's create a term. So first we are on the game, there's Purview Studio. We will come here in manage glossary, create a new term, and then we will use the system default term because we are using a default term template. And then we will put it as a name. Like in this example, I can put Contoso parent, and then I will put the definition as any description of the text. This is the parent term, and then we can put the acronym, whatever acronym you want to use, like in this example, Contoso parent or anything, and then we can add the resources to it. So in this example, I can add any other resource like Azure. Purview is the resource, and any link. So I can say that Microsoft.com. So that is the link I'm going to create. So this way I can create a custom create a term with a default template. Okay, so now let's create a term with a custom template. So first we need to create a custom template. So for creating a custom template, you click the new term and the new term template. So we'll create a new term template and put this name Contoso template. And then we will add attributes to it. And these attributes, we can add multiple attributes. Like in this example, We can add the attribute as a business unit attribute. So, and then the text type is, I would say, field, single choice field. And then we will add the different choices in this example. Like one example could be sales, marketing, finance, human resources, and then IT. So we created this term now. Now in this, we are going to use this new term. We are going to create the new term. Okay. And this time, while using the new term, we are going to use this template. So let's come here, and this time it is asking you to use any of this template, either the default template or the pre-created template. I'm going to use this, and then the moment I create the term based on this template, it asks you again the overview values. So I'm going to put the overviews as contoso child, and then the description, I can put any description that this is the long description of the term. And then who is the parent of this? It is a contoso parent is a parent of this. And then I can put the business unit out of all these values. Remember, we created these values. So we can put any value like marketing, finance, or anything, and then create it. So this way we can create a term with a custom term template. Now, if you go here again and then see the glossary terms, and then in the hierarchical view, you will find that the contoso parent is a parent of it and contoso child is depicted as its child, because we already described it as one of the contoso parent is parent and the other one is child. Okay, so now we are going to learn how to bulk import the terms. So this is a general practice that whenever you create a term, you might be using some Excel to update those terms in a bulk and then try to import these values. So in this example, I have created an Excel file. In that, I have created this nickname, name, definition, acronym, and then resources related to it, these related resources, synonyms for this term, who is a data steward for this term, who is the expert, and then parent term name. So these values I have already added in an Excel file. So now what we are going to learn is we are going to use this Excel file to import all the terms which is kept here into the Azure Purview. Okay, so let's get started. So first we will come here again in the glossary terms, then import the terms, and we will use system default, continue, browse, and in the browse we are going to use this import template and copy OK, and it started getting all the terms, and then it took already all these column names, and then it also provided guidance. And when we click OK, it is the import process already started. And once the import process already started, you can see that all these terms are there, and you can find that these terms are visible here. Now we have more than 50 extra terms created under this workplace analytics. We can use any of these filters. Like in this example, I want to see what are the approved terms, so it will filter all these approved terms. Now, the way we have imported it, we can also do export of the specific set of terms, and we can send it to somebody or utilize in another Purview instance so that we can import these exported terms into that instance. So again, export is also easy. It automatically, the moment you click or select all the terms and export, it automatically create an exported file. And this is nothing but a CSV file which can be utilized in the another environment. Okay, now we are going to assign a term to an asset. So here we are. We'll browse this asset, and then you will see this queries by state. Then in this, we are going to edit this asset and then assign the term here. So in this example, we are going to assign this glossary term to this asset and save it. The moment you save it, and if you refresh, it says that this glossary term is assigned to this particular asset. Similarly, we can see that this term is assigned to how many assets. So if you click here and then you say view asset, it will give you the asset name. That means all the assets which is for which this term is assigned. Okay, so now we are going to update an existing term. So in this example, we are going to update this term called aggregation, and then we'll edit it. And while editing it, we can add the related terms like what are the synonyms of aggregation. So you can select any pre-existing things like workplace analytics term or attendee workplace analytics. Inside this there is attendee or attended. So these can be synonyms. So you can add synonyms. You can add the related terms. Like in this example, the related terms we can add might be anything like collaboration group, or it can be any other thing, right? So I can use collaboration group or collaborators, or I can say this is the related term and then save it. Then same way we can add the context, and you can add multiple contexts for it. So again, this example we can add the different contexts. I'm going to add my new export content and then steward for this is my name or any other name, and then save it. So now with this, we created a term with a system default term template. We created another term with a custom term template. Then we demoed the bulk import and export capabilities. Then we assign a term to existing asset and then update the existing term. Okay, so what is Azure Purview, Microsoft Purview classification demo? The classifications are similar to as if you are tagging a subject, and then it is marked, it is used to identify the data of a specific type. Okay, so why it is important? Because if you classify it in a specific way, then while scanning, that classification will be used to scan it, and then it will be easy for you to search it with that classification. So classification helps you to better manage your data, and it can also help you to prioritize your data efforts, and then also improve your data security and regulatory compliance. Because if a particular set of data is classified sensitive or public use, so that can be classified differently, and this will be used for your compliance requirements. It also helps you to simplify your productivity and decision making things, so that you can reduce the cost, because you can only specifically classify the data which is used for specific purpose. And there are a large set of classification options which is provided by Azure to depict or represent the data. And these are the things we are going to learn today: how to create the classification, create a classification rule with the regular expression, create a scan rule set. Then we will upload the data to Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 account, and then scan the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 account after classifying it, and then search with that classification. Okay. So first let's create a classification. So we'll come here, data map, then classification, and then create a new classification. The name of the classification could be Twitter handle, and then in the description we are going to put the username that appears for the classification. So like we are going to classify this kind of data where the ID number, handle number, and URL is given, and we will use this uh, data for classification. So we will create a classification now. Now once this value is created, Twitter handle, okay, it's not but still not there because it is a custom one, so it's showing it here. So now once the classification is done, we are going to create a classification rule. So in the classification rule, we are going to again come back here and then click the classification rule. And in the classification rule, we are going to create a new classification rule. In the new classification rule, we are going to name this classification rule as Twitter handle classification rule. And then we will put a description that the usernames which appears in a certain format, right? The username that appears at the end of your unique Twitter handle. That means this one. This is the qualification. This is your classification. So let's do that. Now we are going to select the classification name. We have already created the classification name. So in this example, we are going to use this classification name as Twitter handle, and we are going to use the regular expression for this. So once we do the regular expression, there are two ways you can do it. Either you can upload the file and it will automatically create the regular expression for you, or if you are very good at regular expression, you can write down those regular expression here. So I am not good at it, so I'm going to use the file which I have already shown you just now. So I'll put browse, and then I'm going to use this Twitter handle file. And based on this, it's going to create the whole regular expression. And you can use any column. Like in this example, if you see, there are these ID, handle, and URL, right? So based on that, it automatically took that value. ID is based on this regular expression, handle is taking this regular expression, and pattern is taking this regular expression. So we are going to use pattern here. That means this particular field, okay, handle, and we are going to add that. So it automatically took that, and then data pattern it took is this one, and then we will create it. So now it automatically created this classification rule. Now we will create a scan rule set so that we can scan this kind of data. So we are going to first go to the scan rule set, and then we'll click new. And in this, we are going to use what kind of data which we want to use. So if you use the blob storage or ADLS Gen 2, so I'm going to use ADLS Gen 2. And then the scan rule set name Twitter handle. And then I can put the description that this is a custom rule set which helps you to detect the Parquet file and classify this Twitter handle. So now when we scan with this rule, and we will use a Parquet file which we are going to import into the data links Gen 2. It's going to scan based on that rule set which we have created. So now it is asking what kind of file you want to use. So I'm going to use only Parquet file. So I'm going to deselect everything except Parquet file because I'm going to upload this Parquet file as a data set in the Azure Data Lake Gen 2. And that Parquet file will contain all these Twitter handles so that it can classify those values inside it. So I will say continue. And in this example, it's going to ask you what kind of rules you want to use. I don't want to use this system rules, system generated rules. I want to use my own custom rule, which I have created in earlier step, and I say continue. Now, once I say continue, it will, you can create it, and that's it. So now your custom rule is created. Now what we will do, we will upload this Parquet file into the IDLS Gen 2 and scan this. Okay, so now we are going to upload a file into the Azure storage, ADLS Gen 2 storage, and then we will upload a Parquet file in this so that we can use that scan rule set and then scan this Twitter handle. So for this, I have already opened the Storage Explorer here. and I'm going to create a Twitter folder. And in this Twitter folder, I'm going to upload the file. So I will upload this file here, and this opens this dialog box. I'm going to use this Parquet file and upload it here. So now you can see this Parquet file is getting uploaded. If you refresh it here, it's getting uploaded, and it is uploaded now. Okay, so after scan rule set is run, we still don't see that classification here. So it looks like there is some problem in our scan rule set. So let's see what is the issue here. So we'll go there again and then see the classification rule. In the custom rule set, we see this Twitter handle rule set, and then the rules, and then we'll go inside it and see that this data pattern is like this. So we need to modify this data pattern, and while modifying we will put this 5 to 15. That means the preceding 5 to 15 characters it is going to take for finding the Twitter. And we are also going to remove this column pattern where the column name should be handle, and then apply it. And I'm going to remove everything so that all the rules are deleted. So now we are going to again update this scan rule set which is applied to ADLS Gen 2, and let's see what is that rule set. It is custom rule set here, and I'm going to edit this rule set, continue, and again it's going to use the same Parquet file, Twitter handle, and update. So now this rule set is already updated. So now what we are going to do, we are going to run this rule again and see the results. So now we are going to create a scan again for the data lake Gen 2, and this scan we are going to use it for this collection. It's going to ask you which scope you want to use it for. So I'm going to use it only for the Twitter handle, and then which rule you want to use. This is the rule I'm going to use, and then only I'm going to run it once, save and run, and let's see once it is running and it is completed. So you can see that it is still running node. Okay, so now let's test it. Does it shows the classification? Yes, it shows this Twitter handle classification. It also shows that this classification is applied to the Twitter handle Parquet file, and then it also shows this classification or this schema classification. In the schema classification, this Twitter handle classification is added. So let's go there and see whether this account name, this column in the Parquet file has this classification attached to it. You can see that here, which shows that we are able to successfully add that classification with the help of the scan rule which we created earlier. So with this, we are able to successfully complete these steps. First, we created a classification called Twitter handle. Then we created a classification rule by uploading a Twitter handle file. And then from that file, it automatically created a regular expression. We modified that regular expression and removed the column name handle. Then we created a scan rule set. And then in that, after creating a scan rule set, we uploaded a sample data in the Parquet file. And then we scanned that Parquet file in the Azure data lake. And then it shows that all these Twitter handle rules are applied to the data set. And when we searched that data, it was showing that classification rules applied into it.
Thanks for watching, and do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.